Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. So glad you're with us today. What we're going to talk about now are things that might be suppressing your romantic drives. How about that? We'll try to keep this as family friendly as we can. Because what I've seen happen with COVID, especially, is patients have been locked up in their homes. We have seen divorce rates skyrocket because people are stuck together, as what some of the researchers are saying. But also, we're kind of depressed. And, we did a show just now. We just finished a show on depression and things you can do about that. And that show will be on our website, won't it, Garrett? drjoe.com. So it'll be on the website, drjoe.com. Foods to avoid if you have anxiety or depression. And this show will be on the website too, drjoe.com. So sex drive killers is what we're calling this show. So there are certain things that you're doing every single day that really may be dampening your romantic life. And we want to make sure that if you are doing these things, that if you want to improve your romantic life, you do them. If you don't, that's okay too. It's totally up to you what you want to do. But I'm having a lot of patients come to us with issues. Now, one of the issues that we see very commonly when it comes to romance is pinched nerves. The nerves in your low back control everything from the waist down. So if you have back pain, hip pain, leg pain, chances are those same nerves control your colon, your reproductive organs, and your bladder. So you might see things like gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, urinary problems, problems in the romantic department for men and women. So the nerves in the low back, if they're being pinched, have to be fixed because we can give you all the supplements and herbal things and medications and all that's great, but you got to open up the nerve supply to that area as well. Not saying it's the only reason, but it's oftentimes a reason. So people with arthritis in their low backs, there's a fracture called a spondylolisthesis. Many times these injuries to the low back can be affecting the romance in your life. So stress, of course, is going to be the biggest one, I think, that we have to deal with. Now, there's three types of stress: chemical, physical, and emotional stress that we deal with in our offices. Chemical stress is food. And if you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com, D-R-J-O-E. Type in the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. Listen to the lecture we did on the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. It's alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Collectively, you all thought the same thought. I know. But Dr. Joe, that's my whole diet. I can't live without alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Yes, you can. I've been doing it for 34 years. You can do it too. So it works really well, by the way. So chemical stress. And then after you listen to the 7 deadly sins of nutrition, listen to the show we did called So What Can I Eat? And there's your basis right there, folks. Give me a couple hours of your life. Listen to these shows. It'll change everything. And it's free. It's on the website. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. It's just the shows are on the website. So listen to that. So chemically, that's easy to address, and we address that on just about every show. Physically, if you have pain increases something called your cortisol level. Cortisol essentially suppresses testosterone and your androgen hormones, your male hormones, and your sex drive hormones. So if you have pain, that headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, that can have an adverse effect, dramatic adverse effect on your body. And cortisol causes you to lay down fat. And fat produces estrogen, which causes you to lay down fat. So fat is not good when it comes to romance, not just for aesthetic reasons, but because it's affecting your hormone levels. And if you're under stress, cortisol is the one that kind of starts the whole thing off. So there's chemical stress, physical stress, and emotional stress. The emotional stress, if you keep your body healthy, you're able to deal with the emotional stress more effectively. And I'm going to do a show coming up. It's in my queue to come up on grief. What grief does to the body and how to deal with it. So we're going to do a show on that upcoming. So just prepare yourself for that. But we want to fix the chemical, emotional, physical stress. And the emotional stress, again, is a byproduct many times of the chemical and the physical. So if we can get your diet straightened out, which is really easy to do because you have to eat anyway, you might as well eat good foods. Then we deal with the physical stress. My team of doctors is really good at dealing with physical stress. The neck pain, the back pain, the shoulder pain, the digestive issues. Then the body really falls into place. And many times people report that their marriages have been saved, that they're decided they're going to get out and start socializing again, that their relationships have become better. So even if it's not the physical aspect of romance, it's also the social aspects that go along with it, of just connecting with people, of having that connection is really important. And so many times, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, folks. So many times, patients come to us and they say, Doc, you saved my marriage, job, family life, friendships, social life, because we fix the things that we can manage and everything else kind of falls into place. So if you have an issue, just come see us. physical, emotional, physical, chemical issues, let us try to do everything we can to help you with that. In most cases, we get great results. And people say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? And why did I suffer so much? And maybe I did lose my marriage. Maybe I did lose my job. Maybe I did lose my friendships. When all we had to do was fix the problem. You were the problem. Not saying you emotionally, but you physically and chemically. And those are the ones that are usually really easy to fix. And of course, that can lead to partner problems. And so if you're fighting, if you have poor communication, trust issues, of course, are big issues in life. And we are byproducts of our own existence. We see our parents, we were raised by someone, and we see how they treated their partners, how they treated their family. We have interpersonal relationships. Maybe you've been betrayed by a partner, by maybe a business partner, by a friend. And so, of course, you're going to put your guard up. And so if we can fix the chemical and the physical part, many times you're able to allow people into your life again. And you start to do some reflection on your own life and saying, wow, maybe it wasn't all them. Maybe I did have something to do with this. Maybe you wanted it to happen. But you have to be able to be as healthy as you can to make those decisions. Alcohol, of course, is a big issue. Alcohol lowers your testosterone level. Now, we've done shows on this before. We do a show right around Valentine's Day called The Food Romance Connection. It's on the website, drjoe.com. And alcohol lowers your testosterone level. So you're thinking, I'm going to have a few drinks. I'm going to get a little crazy. It's going to be fun. Well, from a biochemical standpoint, that's one of the worst things you can do. So alcohol lowers testosterone. Now, testosterone is not just your romance hormone. It builds muscle. And not just your biceps and your triceps. How about your heart? How about your blood vessels? How about your colon? These are all muscles. So alcohol lowering testosterone, very dangerous thing. So in our office, we can actually do blood work on you and measure your testosterone levels, measure all your hormone levels. And if testosterone is low, there are certain supplements you can take to help raise it up. Now, you can do hormone replacement therapy, and you can take plant-based testosterone. Okay, it's a synthetic version. It's called bioidentical, and you can inject it into yourself, and it'll raise your testosterone levels. So I said, I'm going to try this. I want to see what it's like. And my testosterone level is normal. It's right in the mid-range of normal for my age. So I did 3 injections over 3 weeks. Got my blood work tested again. My testosterone was off the chart. I had way too much testosterone. So I cut back, it dropped, and then it came back again. The reason I'm not a fan of it, and the only reason I did it was to see what it was like, is that if you start taking what we call exogenous hormones, outside hormones, what happens is your body senses that, I've got plenty of testosterone. I don't need to make any more. So it shuts down in production, or estrogen, or whatever it is. So it's not a good idea to take outside hormones if we don't have to. With type 2 diabetics, you could sometimes they may recommend insulin, but type 1s have to take it. That's just how it is. Your pancreas doesn't produce insulin. But for type 2 diabetics, they try to give you medications to stabilize your blood sugar. But if you're taking insulin, your body says, I got plenty of insulin. I don't have to make it anymore. So that becomes an issue. So I don't like exogenous or outside hormones if we can avoid them. So what we do is we have some supplements that seem to work. It's not nearly as dramatic as taking a bioidentical hormone, but it slowly raises up the levels in most cases. So one of them is adrenal support, Dr. Joe's adrenal support. And that helps feed the adrenal glands so the adrenal glands can do their job, which is make hormones. Number 2, we have something called estrogen regulator. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Estrogen regulator helps prevent your testosterone from converting into estrogen, into estradiol specifically. But it's the supplement is made from something called diindole methane. Diindole methane is found in cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. So cruciferous vegetables have diindole methane. We have it in a pill form as well. Then we have men's and women's hormone regulator. Now, the men's and women's hormone regulator is DHEA. Now, try to follow me on this. Your body produces pregnenolone. Pregnenolone becomes cortisol, okay? But pregnenolone becomes DHEA. But if you're under stress, your body produces cortisol and produces less sex hormones. So if you're under stress, you're using up a lot of your pregnenolone to produce cortisol, not leaving a whole lot to produce sex hormones. So by taking a DHEA supplement, it kind of overrides that process and allows you to start producing your own hormones again. So men's and women's hormone support, which is DHEA, and then estrogen regulator. Do not take estrogen regulator if you are perimenopausal or menopausal. It's not designed for you. It's designed for women in childbearing years, and it's designed for men. Don't take it if you're menopausal or perimenopausal, okay? So we can help raise up our testosterone levels, and we can help produce more testosterone by taking certain supplements. Super Green's an essential source. So again, it's adrenal support, men's or women's hormone support, and estrogen regulator. Unless you're perimenopausal or menopausal, don't take the estrogen regulator. Super Green's an essential source, of course, of the minimum supplements everybody should be taking every day. They're 2 powders. They taste great. It's a complete multivitamin, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, raw fruits and vegetables in a powder form. When I created this, I created it with my friend Ron out in California, and we really put together what I would consider the world's ultimate supplement. That's my opinion, but it really is amazing how well it works. And once you get on this stuff, it's really hard to get off it, I'll be honest with you, because you feel so darn good. And it's relatively inexpensive, and you're getting good stuff as opposed to bad stuff. So a lot of people have given up their coffee. People have come off their drugs and their medications by getting the body healthy enough that they don't need those things anymore. And that's my goal. I don't want you to stop taking drugs. I want to get you healthy enough so you don't need to take the drugs. Big difference in healthcare. Never heard that approach before, I bet. So that's why we want to get you healthy. So alcohol, we're talking about things that kind of dull your romance. Alcohol is one of them. Not getting enough sleep, certainly a big issue. Fatigue is very, very prevalent in a lot of people, especially if there's children. So if you're tired all the time, we did a show on sleep. You should be able to go to the website and find it, drjoe.com. Just type in sleep. And what you're going to find there is we talk about how to get a better night's sleep. One of the biggest reasons people don't sleep properly is pain. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, restless leg syndrome, their feet are cold, circulatory issues. In most cases, those cases are excellent chiropractic patients because we get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, we'd love to see you, by the way. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb in the Atlanta area. Just go to our website, drjoe.com, and you can book an appointment right online. The initial visit was $375. We've reduced it to $199. We are going to raise that in the next couple of weeks because COVID's coming to an end, I hope. And that was just our little COVID savior out there for everybody. We accept most insurances for treatment, car accidents, sports injuries, Medicare. If you're ever in a car accident, you need to come see us immediately. I'm going to drill this into your brain because every day patients come to my office and say, Dr. Joe is in an accident. I heard you say, as soon as I'm in the accident, come see you guys. Right before I went on the air today, I had an attorney send me a message. He had my cell phone, and he said, a friend of his just got in a car accident, and we need to get that person in to see you today. I said, fine, let's make that happen. Because the attorneys know that the quicker you get to a doctor, the better off your case is going to be. The insurance companies are always looking for ways to get out of paying you. And the one way they do it, the easy way is, you didn't go to the doctor fast enough. Now, what's fast enough? That's a generic term almost. And it's subjective. There is no number that says it, but they can use that against you. So come see us as quickly as possible. Everybody in the car needs to come see us as quickly as possible. So to make an appointment, drjoe.com. Now, we started the show by talking about nerves that control your reproductive organs, and the nerves in the low back control your reproductive organs. So many times, if men or women are having issues in a romantic department, it's a pinched nerve in the low back affecting the reproductive organs. So sometimes it's physical, not chemical. And that's why you may take these little blue pills or you take these other things and it's not working because you never unpinch the nerve. Another treatment that we do that's becoming really popular and kind of blowing everybody else out of the water is PRP. PRP is taking your own blood cells, spinning them down, and taking out the platelets. The platelets are the growth factors. They stimulate new growth. They stimulate circulation. And so for men, it can be for erectile dysfunction, we can take the PRP and put it right into the parts of the body. Doesn't hurt. It's all numbed up. And over time, it starts to kind of put new fresh cells in the area. For women, if you cough and sneeze and urinate, maybe you've lost your desire because of maybe having children or damage. Many times PRP, your own blood cells going back into the body, platelets, can restore and regenerate. We had a patient a couple of weeks ago, and she just peed herself. She had 3 kids, and she was young. She was only in her 40s. And she peed herself all the time. She didn't want to socialize. She didn't want to have romance. And so she came in, and our doctor did the injection, and she called a day or two later and said, I haven't peed myself in 48 hours. First time in years. So really good results in most cases. So you might want to go ahead and consider that. It's on the website, more information, drjoe.com. And it's your own cells. It's not an outside drug. It's not stem cells from some fetus or something like that. It's your own cells. And that's what I like about it. There's less likelihood of rejection. And we know the cells are fresh. It's 8 minutes from the time that they're spun down to the time they're put back in your body. So that's important. Quality is everything when it comes to treatment. And these are the treatments that I've researched, and they're Dr. Joe approved. I say they're okay. And so it's really not a bad thing to do to be able to take a treatment or a supplement where I've done the research on it and I vetted it and I say, yes, this is okay. So anyway, I'd love to have you as a patient. drjoe.com. Stop suffering. So many people are suffering needlessly. When they come see us, they say, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? And my answer is, I don't know. So just come see us. Stop arguing. Stop fighting it. Just get to see us. We talked about kids, of course. Kids can be exhausting. If you ever raised a kid or helped raise a kid, you know how much attention they take. And many times that can put a damper on your love life. Now, my grandmother, the Italian grandmother, had 10 kids. I have no idea how she had time to have kids because I don't know when there was any quiet in the house. But kids can be an issue. And if that's the case, you and your partner need to sit down and say, okay, let's make some plans. Let's find some time for us. Not only couples time, but private time. How do I get time by myself? Because that's really important to keep your sanity. Now, if you don't need that time, that's fine. But I think a lot of people do need that break. Medications are a big issue when it comes to romance. Antidepressant, blood pressure medications, certain birth control pills, chemotherapy, HIV drugs. These are all medications that can have a severe adverse effect on many things in your life, not only your love life. Now, the number one medication I see patients taking is blood pressure medication. So if you have high blood pressure, I recommend you go to our website, drjoe.com, type in high blood pressure or blood pressure, listen to the show we did on blood pressure. I think that might be the most popular show on our website. If it's not, it's right up there. Because so many people have high blood pressure, and we talk about in that show many of the causes of high blood pressure and then alternative therapies. Do not come off your medication until your blood pressure is stable enough to do that. Patients say, well, Dr. Joe, I'm going to come see you guys, and you're going to work on my stomach, and that's going to take the stress off my vagus nerve, and that's going to lower my blood pressure, and I'm going to take Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support, which opens up the blood vessels and has been shown to help many cases of blood pressure issues, but I'm going to stop taking my meds. No, don't do that. Let's work with you to get you to the point where we can get you off the medication, where your medical doctor can get you off the medication. That's not my job. Whoever prescribed it is the one that I want to take you off it. So blood pressure, many times a manageable issue, and in most cases, patients are thrilled. We deal with the nutrition. We deal with the nervous system because the nervous system controls the blood pressure. And then we talk about supplements as well. The supplement that a lot of people take for high blood pressure is something called Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. And when it comes to romance, many times it's a circulatory issue. So we want to open up the blood vessels the best we can, and Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support is a great way to help get there. Help get there. Not going to solve all the problems, but help get there. So we can do the PRP injections. We can do the nitric oxide support. We can do chiropractic care to open up the nerve supply to the areas. We can fix the digestive system because the digestive system is controlled by what's called a parasympathetic nerve. Sympathetic nerves speed you up. Parasympathetic nerves slow you down. We want to get you into the parasympathetic mode, the slow down mode, because that's the romance mode. And if you're constantly in the sympathetic mode, you don't have time to get into the parasympathetic mode, which is where you need to be for men and women. So many times if we adjust the stomach, we get the digestive system working again, we take the stress off the parasympathetic-sympathetic balance, you're able to shift into parasympathetic mode, and things start to work again. So that's why many times you're on vacation, you get a little romantic, a little frisky, because you're in that parasympathetic mode in many cases. And so that's what we have to do is look at the nervous system and what we need to do to fix that. So switching certain drugs or dosages may help. You can talk to your doctor about that. But again, never stop medication on your own. If your romance is stalling a little bit, there might be some new medications. But again, supplement-wise, Super Green's an essential source, minimum supplements, nitric oxide, men's or women's hormone support, and then estrogen regulator if you're not menopausal or perimenopausal for all men and women. That goes across the board. And in most cases, we start to see some really good results. And then we can escalate the treatment to PRP if we need to. So there's a lot of different approaches we can take from when it comes to romance, assuming that it's not just, hey, I don't like my partner anymore, which is one option. I'm not sure how to fix that. But again, if we fix the chemical and the physical, many times you can work things out. I've always said that anything can be negotiated if both parties are willing to negotiate. If one party is not willing to negotiate, it's done. And 94% of divorces are filed by women. So A, most men are jerks, which is certainly an option. Or B, maybe there's something in there that's chemical or biomechanical that we can work with. And I don't have the answer. I'm not saying either one is right. I'm just saying that something's wrong. And if both people work on it, many times there's an answer. And if there's not, that's okay too. At least you can go separate ways in a peaceful manner. We talked about obesity being an issue because fat produces estrogen. I used to be fat. I can say the F word. Fat produces estrogen. Estrogen lowers your testosterone. And so also there's the aesthetic component there as well. Now, we will be adding to our clinics very shortly a lot of aesthetic treatments. Things like melting fat cells, we'll be adding that. Machines that can tighten up muscles, we'll be adding that very soon. We're also considering now using plasma therapy to help get rid of wrinkles around the eyes and the mouth. So that's all coming shortly, but we're not there yet. So just so you know, because we really are a wellness center. And we understand that aesthetics is part of that wellness. You want to look good and makes you feel good. So if we give you the best chiropractic care in the world and the best supplements in the world, in my opinion, and the best medical treatment in the world, we also want to make sure we have the aesthetic ability to, to give you the aesthetics that you want to feel good. So we're working on that as well. Those are things in the works. But any services that we have are already on the website, drjoe.com. And you can look at the services that we have. And if you want to make an appointment, we would love to be your doctors. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb in the Atlanta area, and we'd love to work with you. So if you really want to get well, drjoe.com, just go ahead, do it. Set up an appointment. The initial visit is now $199. It was $375. We're raising that very shortly. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first chiropractic treatment, going over the x-rays, and a nutrition evaluation. All the supplements we're talking about are on the website. We'll ship them to you if you'd like, drjoe.com. If you want to come by the office and pick up the supplements, that's even better. Why? It saves you the shipping. We're going to try to save you as much money as possible, and we'd like to meet you. My staff are really nice. All our offices, very nice staff. And we'd love to have the opportunity to say hi to you, and then you can see where our offices are too, so that hopefully you can go ahead and when you're ready, make an appointment to come see us, because we'd love to see you. And again, if you're ever in a car accident, if the car was damaged, in my experience, you were damaged 100% of the time, come see us immediately. And we'll do the evaluation. If there's nothing wrong, we'll tell you, hey, there's nothing wrong, go home. But there is something wrong, we want to work with you. Okay? So do the appointment right now. That goes for children as well. We've seen children as young as fresh out of the womb. I was at a birth, and I adjusted the baby as soon as she came out. So yeah, you definitely want to get things checked. Okay? And there's nobody's too old or too young to get chiropractic care. Don't worry about that. We're talking about things that might affect your love life. Depression, we just did a show on depression. It's on the website, drjoe.com. Foods to avoid if you have depression. And then any other issues, again, if we can fix the emotional and the chemical and the physical aspects, in most cases, most health issues get better. So if you're really serious about wanting to get well, drjoe.com is a great source of information. Type in what you're looking for in the search bar, send us questions through the website, and most importantly, just make your appointment. Come see us and stop suffering needlessly. If you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. That's the name of our podcast. You will hear hundreds and hundreds of hours of podcasts. And so if you like Dr. Joe that much, you can do it there. On our website, we have over 1,500 hours of podcasts, drjoe.com. But folks, just at least get on Super Greens, an essential source. Nitric oxide is great. B-complex. They all have benefits. And if you have any questions, you can send it through the website, drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. We'll catch you next time.